Today, 2 p.m. Eastern, Bill Belichick gets in front of the media at North Carolina. The new and improved Bill Belichick.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that personality that's been on display on the Manning cast, Pat McAfee's show. He's going to be dynamic. What's he going to wear? What's he going to say? Yes, Paulie.
I so hope that the first question is like Skippy Bittlebottom from the local newspaper, the campus newspaper.
Skippy Bittlebottom.
Yeah, little Skippy Bittlebottom gets to ask the first question of Belichick.
Coach. Yes, Marvin.
Powder blue tie?
Ooh, does he have a tie on today? Let's bring in Mark Packer. He's been covering the ACC a long time. See, these are the questions that we have, Mark. What do you think? Belichick with a tie on campus today?
I think at North Carolina, he starts with the tie, but maybe by the end we go with the hoodie, right? We just do the cutoff Argyle hoodie and one-word answers and down the road. And listen, he's got to go get some players, Dan. I mean, this is a cool story, and he's the all-time greatest coach. But, man, you better get some players if you expect to win. That's true whether it's high school, college, or pro.
All right, let's go back a couple of weeks ago when you first heard this was a possibility. And you said what?
I said, you got to be crazy, right? I mean, what's he thinking? I mean, is he that bored? I mean, you got a coach in college football, given everything he's accomplished, and he's that close to Don Shula's mark. And, maybe somebody will wake up and say, guess what? Let's give him a gig. And listen, I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. You think we could use a coach? We've seen bad football from the NFL perspective for God knows how long. But nobody in their right mind really thought this could happen. But it is an amazing story. And to see how this whole thing unfolds is going to be fascinating.
I feel like Carolina's already won. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
I mean, the fact you're on my show today, we're talking Carolina football in December.
Well, let me put it in perspective. And again, we obviously cover the ACC, but cover college sports. Last night, the Southeastern Conference, which is the best conference in college football, and the Big Ten, which is number 2, could arguably be number 1 this year, they announced their 2025 college football schedules last night. Nobody cared. You know why? Because everybody was talking about the ACC, North Carolina, and Bill Belichick. So in some respects, after just 24 hours, you've already seen the impact he can have. Now, like I said, we'll have the press conference today. That'll be great. But at some point in time, North Carolina expects to win yesterday. And this is a program that's kind of been a sleeping giant. We've been talking about that for decades. Now he's got to go prove it.
What's the downside?
The downside is that North Carolina pushes all their chips in. There's been a misalignment from the board of trustees, the athletic director. That's got to get on the same page.
Yeah.
The guy's 72. He sits there and says, hey, I got all the answers. I pull a Charlie Weiss who said, listen, I got all the schematic advantages. All of a sudden he goes out and realizes, you know what? Team coming through the under tunnel's got better players, and no matter how many Super Bowls I can talk about, they wear my ass out. And that's the worst thing that can happen, where guess what? You expect to win ASAP and you fall flat on your face.
But if he gets 9 or 10 wins, he's a savior, isn't he?
Well, I think that's been the problem, Dan. North Carolina has been able to get to that number. And I know Mac Brown this year got to 6, but they've been on the doorstep multiple times. They've been to 2 ACC championship games, lost to Clemson in both of them. Mac's first run, he had a great team. He left North Carolina the first time as a top 10 team. The problem was there was a guy by the name of Bobby Bowden at Florida State that was just that good. So North Carolina has always produced players. You go back through history, they always put guys in the National Football League. I think their expectations are, hey, we haven't won an ACC championship since 1980 when a guy by the name of Lawrence Taylor was a linebacker. Why not now? Let's put all chips in. We got this whole name, image, and likeness thing. We got the coach. Let's let it rip and see where it goes. I expect them to figure that, hey, going to a bowl is a piece of cake. Listen, here in the ACC, we saw SMU join the league for the first time, tell the league to keep all their TV money. They win 11 games in the ACC championship game, and now they're in the college football playoff. Why can't that happen at North Carolina?
Okay, the over-under, according to Vegas, is 6.5 wins. You over
I would
or
take
under?
the over, and I'll tell you why. And again, I just looked at their schedule last night. Next year in the ACC, they don't see Miami, they don't see Louisville, they don't see SMU, they don't see Virginia Tech. Say whatever you want about Florida State, they won't be 2-10. They miss all those teams. They get Clemson, and they go to their rival NC State. They've lost 4 straight. Non-conference schedule, TCU's their opener. I would, again, I'm not a betting man, but I think they obliterate 6.5.
Good to talk to you, Mark. You got something to talk about, certainly.
Listen, the biggest winner of all this was the ACC network and the conference, and hopefully Bill Belichick in North Carolina.
Thank you, Mark.
You got it.
That's Mark Packer, ACC network host. Yeah, there are a lot of winners in this. Stuart Mandel, the Athletic, he's not a believer. He'll join us coming up next hour. Pretty rough on Belichick.